You are born on August 15th, 1769, in Ajaccio, on the island of Corsica. Corsica has just come under French control. Not long ago, there were battles for independence here. You literally come into the world in an atmosphere of defeat and change. Your mother, Letizia, is pregnant with you during the military clashes. She is forced to hide from the fighting. From the very beginning of your life, you are a child of a war-torn era. Your father, Carlo Bonaparte, is a minor noble. Not wealthy, not influential, but ambitious. You are Italian by culture. France is a new power for you. You grow up stubborn, restrained, and quick-tempered. Your mother is strict. She hardens you. You get used to enduring. At the age of 9, you are sent to France. Imagine a small island boy who barely speaks French enters a military school among children from noble families. They laugh at you. Your accent is harsh to their ears. You are poorer than most of the students. You become withdrawn. But it is there that your main trait is born, ambition. You read a lot, especially history, especially about great military leaders. You study Alexander the Great. You study Julius Caesar. You begin to see yourself not just as an officer, you begin to see yourself as a man of destiny. In 1785, you graduate from the Paris Military Academy. You are 16 years old. You are a lieutenant in the artillery. Artillery is not just cannons, it is calculation. It is mathematics. It is cold logic. You do not rely on emotions. You rely on calculation. In 1789, the French Revolution begins. The king loses control. The country is in chaos. For most nobles, this is a catastrophe. For you, an opportunity. You support the revolution, not because you are a fan of freedom, but because the revolution breaks the old hierarchy. Now one can rise by talent. 1793. Too long. The city revolts. The British occupy the port. You propose a bold artillery plan. You understand the key. No need to storm the city. The fleet must be neutralized. You position the batteries to control the harbor. When the cannons start firing, the British are forced to retreat. You are 24 years old. You become a brigadier general. At 24, Halim, think about it, 24. 1795, Paris, a royalist uprising. You are assigned to defend the government. You act without hesitation. Cannons fire on the crowd. You choose order over doubt. From that moment, you understand power is maintained through decisiveness. You meet Josephine de Beauharnais. She is older than you. She has connections. You marry her. 1796. You are given command of the Italian army. The army is exhausted. The soldiers are hungry. Funding is weak. You gather them and say, "Soldiers, you are naked and starving. I will lead you to the most fertile lands in the world." You give them not money, you give them faith. Italy becomes a string of victories. You divide the enemy armies. You strike in parts. You move quickly. You introduce a new style of warfare. Mobility and concentration of forces. You become a hero of France. 1798, Egypt. You want to strike Britain through its trade routes to India. You win the Battle of the Pyramids, but the British fleet under Horatio Nelson destroys the French ships. You are left without a fleet, without supplies. The Egyptian campaign becomes a strategic mistake, but you do not wait for failure. You return to France because you understand power in Paris is weakening. 1799, 18 Brumaire, a coup d'etat. You enter the Council of Elders. Deputies shout. Someone accuses you of dictatorship. Your brother Lucien helps save the situation. In the end, power passes to you. You become first consul. Effectively, the ruler of France. You are 30. And this is only the beginning. Now you are the first consul of France. But it is not
Behold,
enough.
the Confederation
You
of the Rhine
understand,
until puppets
power
for
obtained
his
through a coup
Lucifer
must be legitimized.
Joseph, you are now
You
King
implement
of Spain.
reforms
Let our
quickly,
empire expand.
harshly,
Louis, King of Holland, and
systematically.
Naples awaits.
You create the Bank of France.
L'Angleterre.
You centralize the
Toujours
tax system. You bring order to finances. You sign a concordat with the Pope. The Church is no longer an enemy of the state. Religion stabilizes society once again. But most importantly, you create the civil
Receive this
code,
crown, Joseph, and
the
with it the throne of
Napoleonic
Spain.
Code,
I accept with
equality
honor and duty.
before the law, protection of private property, abolition of feudal privileges. You understand, armies win wars, laws win centuries. 1804. You no longer want to be just a consul. You organize a plebiscite. France votes. You become emperor. December 2nd, 1804, Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. The Pope is present, but you take the crown and place it on your own head. You show your power is not from the Church. It is from yourself. You create a new aristocracy. You reward marshals. You build a system of loyalty. You transform revolutionary France into an empire. 1805, the year of destiny. You plan an invasion of England, but on October 21st, 1805, Trafalgar, your fleet is destroyed. Britain remains untouchable. You understand, the sea is not your domain. Your element is the land. December 2nd, 1805, the Battle of Austerlitz. Against you, Austria and Russia. Emperor Alexander I is present personally. You pretend to be weak. You deliberately weaken your positions. The Allies attack. You strike the center. The enemy armies are split. This is your masterpiece. Austerlitz is called the Battle of the Three Emperors. After it, the Holy Roman Empire effectively ceases to exist. You redraw the map of Europe. The empire expands. You create the Confederation of the Rhine. You place your brothers as kings, Spain, the Netherlands, Naples. You establish the continental system against Britain, the continental blockade. Europe must stop trading with England. You want to strangle it economically. But the blockade hurts everyone. Smuggling thrives. Discontent grows. Spain, the beginning of wear and tear. 1808, you intervene in Spanish affairs. You overthrow the local dynasty. You place your brother Joseph on the throne. The Spaniards do not accept this. A guerrilla war begins. Ambushes, massacres, civil resistance. For the first time, you face a war with no clear front line. Britain supports the Spaniards. The army is exhausted. The empire begins to crack. 1812. Russia. You decide to punish Russia for violating the blockade. You gather the Grand Army, about 600,000 men. It is the largest army in Europe at that time. You cross the Niemen. But the Russians do not give a decisive battle. They retreat. They burn supplies. They destroy stockpiles. You enter Smolensk. Then, Borodino. The Battle of Borodino is one of the bloodiest. You win tactically, but the army is exhausted. You enter Moscow. The city is almost empty. A few days later, a fire breaks out. You wait for capitulation. Alexander I does not respond. Winter approaches. You hesitate. This decision becomes fatal. Frost, hunger, typhus, Cossack attacks. The army perishes on the roads. The Berezina becomes a symbol of disaster. Of hundreds of thousands, only tens of thousands return. Your legend of invincibility is destroyed. Europe unites. Prussia rises. Austria joins the coalition. In 1813, the Battle of Nations at Leipzig, you lose. For the first time, Europe stands against you as a united front. 1814. The Allies enter Paris. You abdicate. You are sent to the island of Elba, a small island, a small army. You are no longer the master of Europe. But you do not yield. Elba, a tiny piece of land in the Mediterranean. You are given the title of emperor, but only over this island. You have a small guard, a few hundred soldiers. limited resources. You are not broken. You follow the news from France. You learn that the restored monarchy is unpopular. People are disappointed. You understand there is a chance. The escape. On February 26, 1815, you leave Elba. With a few hundred men, you land in France. Troops are sent to meet you.
Indeed, we must remain
But when the soldiers see you, you step forward and say, "If anyone wants to kill their emperor, here I am."
Take this down.
The soldiers join your side. You march to Paris. The king flees. You are in power again. This period will go down in history as the 100 Days. But Europe will not tolerate this again. The last gamble. You understand you must strike first. If you defeat the Allied armies before they unite, there is a chance. June 1815. You move into Belgium. Against you, the army of the Duke of Wellington and the Prussian army of Blücher. June 18th, 1815. Waterloo. Rain makes the battlefield heavy. Artillery performs poorly. You hope to crush the English before the Prussians arrive. But time works against you. The Prussian troops appear on the field. The front collapses. The Guard goes on its final attack. It is repelled. This is the end. Second exile. Now you are sent far away, very far away. The island of St. Helena in the Atlantic Ocean. This is not Elba. From here, there is no escape. The climate is wet. The surroundings are harsh. The control is strict. You live under British supervision. You write memoirs. You dictate your version of events. You explain your decisions. You blame your enemies. You shape the image of a legend. You understand if you cannot rule Europe, you can rule the memory of yourself. Your health deteriorates. Stomach pains increase. On May 5th, 1821, you die. You are 51 years old. Later, doctors will suggest stomach cancer, the same illness that killed your father. Legacy. You lost wars, but your civil code spreads across Europe. Your military reforms change tactics. You destroy old monarchical structures. You accelerate national movements in Germany and Italy. You become a symbol of ambition, a symbol of rising from nothing, a symbol of a man who rose above his origins and paid for it. You were born on an island. You became emperor of a continent. You changed the course of history. You are Napoleon Bonaparte. And this was your entire life.